of cycling ASMR. The Omloop, het nieuwsblad, en Kuurne, Brussel, Kuurne have come to an end and the winners are known. So, it would be nice, I thought it would be nice to make another video to talk a little bit about these races. Since they are the start of the official Spring Classics. Of course, there are also other important races that have been ridden. Primarily the UAE Tour. That is won by, spoiler alert, Lennart van Eetveld from Lotto Destiny. And not by a big rider like Brendan McNulty. Even though Lennart van Eetveld is of course a big talent. I think it's the first time since the UAE Tour has come into existence that it is not won by a World Tour, a rider from a World Tour team, nor is it won by a rider who has won a GC, Grand Tour GC. So that is pretty spectacular from Lennart van Eetveld. And of course also some other races like the Camino stage race won by Jonas Vingegaard. But anyway, maybe I will delve into that a bit later. But for now, I'm going to talk about the Spring Classics, Omloop het Nieuwsblad and Kuurne, Brussel, Kuurne. So, even more surprising than the win of Lennart van Eetveld is perhaps the win of Jan Tratnik in the Omloop het Nieuwsblad. That it is a rider from Team Visma Leasebike is not all too surprising, since Jumbo-Visma or Team Visma Leasebike wins almost every race or one-day race in the Spring Classics the last few years. If I remember correctly, last year the race was won by Dylan van Baarle. And the year before that, I think it was Wout van Aert that has won the Omloop, but I can be mistaken. But anyway, it was a great race for those who did see it. And for those who did not see it, try to find a summary or a recording of the race, because it was really an interesting race to see. There was a hard battle in the peloton in the front. At one point we thought, okay, the elite group with Wout van Aert, De Lee, Jorgensen, was it then? No, Laporte, and yeah, already forgot a few names. They were up front. They had a minute 15 to the peloton, but at a certain point it was around the muur van de Gerardsbergen. It was, by the way, the elite rider I'm forgetting, of course, is Tom Squeens. Tom Squeens, great rider, Latvian rider. They were in the front. Maybe I can check the. Can't I check like how the race was ridden? Maybe if I scroll down a little bit. So that's the finish. The elite group that was formed, yes, at one point was Van Aert, Laporte, Squeens, Pidcock, De Lee, and Jorgensen. And Van Aert, Laporte, and Jorgensen are of course teammates at Team Visma. Squeens is a rider from Trek, Pidcock from Ineos Grenadiers, and Arnaud De Lee from Lotto Destiny. So these were the elite riders that were up front. And they had a minute 15, like I said before. And yeah, when you're looking at the race, you obviously think, okay, one of the Visma riders is going to take the win. One of these three riders is going to take the win because they are the strongest team. They are three together. And yeah, De Lee is a have a bit of issues with estimating Pitcock in these kind of races. I have a lot of faith in them when it comes to the Ardennes, so Liège-Bastogne-Liège, Flèche-Wallon, and those kind of races. But yeah, I don't know, these spring classics, I don't really know if these are very well suited for Pitcock. And yeah, I was really enthusiastic. I was really hyped to see Squeens up front because I think he's a really, really an underestimated rider. He's not really a leader of the team. He mostly is a domestique most of the times, but he has already had some great results in other one-day races. I remember the World Championships in Glasgow, won by Mathieu van der Poel, on which he had a top 10 notation. I believe he was 8th, and it was a really, really, really hard World Championship. And next to that, yeah, he's also always very strong in the Classica San Sebastian. Was very close to winning a stage in the Grand Tours. I think he also had some great notations in the Étoile de Bessèges stage races, the Bretagne Classic. So yeah, he really is a talented rider. Okay, he's already 32 years old, but I don't know. I just really believe that he's going to win a big race in his career. I mean, I really believe that he has a lot of potential, a lot of strengths, and that he perhaps lacks a bit of, I don't know, the right environment, the right material, like many other riders in the peloton who are not part of one of the big teams like Jumbo-Visma or Team Visma-Lease Bike nowadays, or Ineos. But now with the buttload of money that came into the Trek teams, it just might be the case that they have optimized his training schedules, his material, etc. That will enable him to win a big race. But okay, I'm digressing here. So yeah, they were up front, and yeah, at a certain point, they were at the Berendries, which is a hill a bit longer than the other typical coupled climbs. It's not a coupled climb because it just has a tarmac. And surprisingly, Tom Squeens was obviously the strongest guy on that climb, even stronger than Wout van Aert, which is not per se surprising because Wout van Aert has stated that he's not top yet. He wants to be top in the Paris-Roubaix and the Ronde van Vlaanderen. But anyway, that Tom Squeens was the strongest was a bit surprising for a lot of people, including myself. And at one point on the Berendries, he has made a move. Tom Squeens tried to attack, but that was a bit, maybe too soon. Maybe he was feeling a bit too strong. And I think that at that point, the Jumbo-Visma, I'm still struggling with the new name, with the Team Visma-Lease Bike guys, decided that they were going to take another tactic. At one point, I believe they sent Jorgensen in the attack. But of course, for those who are well known with the area of East and West Flanders, there is a lot of wind, and for this race there was a lot of headwind, so a solo finish was a bit, let's say, ambitious from Jorgensen. But anyway, and then at one point they came at the Muur van Gerardsbergen, which is often a critical part of the race. And it is at that point that the peloton returned to the elite group, and Tim Wellens joined the group together with some other riders. Maybe I can scroll towards that part. I'm not quite attack Tim Wellens here. Tim Wellens joins group 2. Voila. And then Jorgensen was solo at that point because he went to the Bosberg. Also a couple climbed very hard to do, especially with like the turn at a certain point. It's you need a lot of power on the peloton, on the pedals. But the peloton got together at a certain point, and it was a bit of chaos. It didn't really have to sprint because Niels Pollitt just pulled the sprint for Jan Tratnik for some reason. I just think that he was a bit too hyped with the fact that he was going to end up on the podium. Maybe he was just also completely like maxed out, completely out of energy, leading him to not think clearly. And in the end, it was just a very easy sprint win for Jan Tratnik, which is of course super nice for Jan Tratnik. I think he's 34, 35, 34 years old. One day after his birthday, also apparently, that he won. So winning such a great big race in the spring, or no, in the autumn of your career, that's just amazing. Especially since Jan Tratnik is just a very, very strong rider with a long history in the peloton. Had to battle some personal issues as well throughout his career. So really amazing for him. So that was the Omloop het Nieuwsblad. If you just look at the top 10, so we have Tratnik and Pollitt. Wout van Aert finished 3rd. Oliver Nase finished 4th. Bit surprised by that result, I must say. Christophe Laporte, the European champion, 5th. Laurens Rex from Intermarché Wanty, 6th. Jasper Stuyven, 7th. Thomas Pidcock, 8th. Matteo Trentin, 9th. And Arnaud Delis, 10th. So, a lot of Belgians in the top 10, of course, because it's a smaller spring classic. Anyway, it was a great race. I really enjoyed myself. The sprint other, wasn't really a sprint. So, it was really a great race. Okay, and then today, of course, we had Kuurne, Brussels, Kuurne. Often this is the, let's say, the rematch for a lot of teams. In the past, the team of Patrick Lefevre, Quickstep, often won Kuurne, Brussels, Kuurne after a dissolution in the Omloop het Nieuwsblad. Often they had a great sprinter within their ranks, and Kuurne, Brussels, Kuurne often ended in a bunch sprint. So with guys like Fabio Jacobsen, Viviani, Bennett, Bone, Cavendish, if you have such a strong sprinter within your team, and you have strong riders that can control the breakaway in the past, like Julien Vermonte, Tim de Klerk, and so on, you just have a lot of odds. The odds are just very high that you can win with your sprinter. So that's what the tactic was of Quickstep back in the days. But now, last year and this year, we of course don't have the Wolfpack or Quickstep as the strongest team in the peloton in these kind of races, but Team Visma leads a bike. And they don't really have this type of a bunch sprinter within the team. Of course, they have Wout van Aert who can win a bunch sprint, but he's not really a real bunch sprinter. If he has to face Jasper Philipsen, for instance, in the sprint in the Kuurne, Brussels, Kuurne, the odds are not in his favor that he will win Kuurne, Brussels, Kuurne. But Wout van Aert did win Kuurne, Brussels, Kuurne. As you can see here, it was the first time that he participated, so he filled the gap in his palmarès, which is of course great for the guy. So Kuurne, Brussels, Kuurne was as spectacular as the Omloop het Nieuwsblad was. They let's say the race was just fallen into a certain shape. It was a bit boring to look at. I mean, there were like, I think it was 60 or 70k to go, but yeah, the peloton was 2-3 minutes behind. There was not a lot of organization in the peloton for some reason, because yeah, even though there are such strong riders up in front, you would imagine that the peloton would be able to get closer near the end, especially with the amount of wind that was present today. Do we get some information on the wind actually on per circumstance? I don't I never have paid attention to that, basically because mostly I check fellow viewer for these kind of things. No, I don't know. Nah, never mind. So yeah, I was a bit surprised, but again, if you have Wout van Aert, Wellens and Loscano up in the front, then you have a hard time as a domestic in the peloton to get closer. So if we then go back to the win, how did Wout van Aert win? Well, they were up front, just Loscano, Wellens and Wout. Wout obviously has the strongest sprint, and he just controlled it perfectly. Both Wellens and Loscano have tried to surprise Van Aert, but he was just too strong today, and yeah, the sprint was one kind of easy from Tim against Tim Wellens. I mean, it was not a walk in the park, but I think he didn't have the hardest time. So yeah, nice win for Wout van Aert. If you now look at the full top 10, so after Loscano, we have Christophe Laporte, Niels Eekhoff from Team DSM, Firmenich PostNL, Genier Emilien from Total Energies, Luc Lamperti from Soudal Quickstep, Tamino Lionel from Lotto Destiny, Meyerhofer Marius from Tudor Pro Cycling Team, and Jasper Stuyven, another top 10 notation for him this weekend from Little Trek. But there's one important rider that I did not mention yet, and it is not Tom Squeens, but it is from New Zealand, Lawrence Pitty from Groupama FDG. He is only 21 years old, 22 as of July 17th. And why do I need to mention him? Well, he was the only one that was able to follow Loscano, Wellens and Van Aert, and at 21 years old. Of course, he wasn't the strongest up front, so he was skipping a lot of pulls, as you can expect. And I think because he is kind of a fast rider, I mean, yeah, his sprint points are not too high, but okay, he's only 21 and he doesn't really had a lot of opportunities to get a higher score. It's not like a score out of 10 of how fast he is, just how many points he already won in sprints. So he's a kind of a fast guy, and at a certain point, Wout van Aert decided to attack and to drop Pitty, which is of course smart to do. It was on the where was it? I think it was a good Trieux. Yeah, it was on the Trieux. It's in French here, so I was kind of confused. So it was on the Trieux, so like 1.2 kilometers, 7.1%. Yeah, it's a great hill to leave a rider like Pitty behind. So yeah, just props to Pitty for being able to follow that group of strong riders on age 21. Amazing. And also I just wanted to express again, because I did it in a previous video, very strong in Dwars door Vlaanderen last year, and this year he was also very strong in the in Valencia, I believe it was. He's just such a strong rider. He just looks like a genuinely good guy. So I wish him the best. I just hope that he wins a spring classic this season, like Dwars door Vlaanderen, for instance. I think that he's strong enough. It's within his range of the capacities he has today, and who knows, in the future, he just might win other great races. So, I've mentioned the UAE Tour that's won by Lennart van Eetveld, about Kuurne, Brussel, Kuurne, Omloop Nieuwsblad. Ook Gran Camino won by Vingegaard, and then we have also, of course, the Vondrom Classic won by Mark Hirschi before his teammate Juan Ayuso and Maxim van Giels, who is a teammate from Van Eetveld, Lennart. So those were like the main races ridden by the men in the last few days. I really had a great time watching the finals, watching the full races once the races were live. And yeah, maybe to conclude, I mean, we really cannot underestimate the fact that Lennart van Eetveld won the UAE Tour. It is before he's won from riders like Ben O'Connor, McNulty, Jane Vine, just really strong riders that have showed their potential and their power in Grand Tours. And Van Eetveld Lennart is, like I said, the first non-big rider, let's say, who has won this race, because if we look at the previous wins, we see this Lennart van Eetveld has joined the group of Remco Evenepoel, Primož Roglič, Adam Yates, and Tadej Pogačar, and that on 22 years old. Looks like kind of a bad guy in this picture, but I mean, like, 22 years old, big talent, great climber, and he doesn't even ride for a World Tour team, because Lado Destiny was regulated last season. But really, even though it's a Pro Tour team, don't underestimate the team, because they have Arnaud de Lee, they have, like I said, Lennart van Eetveld, they also have, where is he? Maxim van Giels, also a very strong rider, Van Moer. So a lot of young Belgian riders with a lot of potential, and I am really looking forward to the upcoming season on how they are going to race. Not that I'm a fan of Lotto Soudal, just a big fan of young riders performing very well. And in these last few years, we are just very much, let's say, spoiled with the great amount of young riders that have come to the elite and just immediately performed as if they are a part of the pro peloton for a couple of years. So yeah, I think that's all for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Maybe if there's interest in my viewers, because yeah, I do have viewers. If you would like me to make a video on a certain team, to check what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses, what are the objectives of the season, what is the program that they're going to ride, what is the program or the big goals for the leader of the team this season, just drop me